Previously, we saw that there are two characters in this story, Jess and the old man, who is his father. The old man has a weak heart, and the doctor has warned him not to exert any physical pressure on his frail being. On the other hand, the old man climbs a steep hill with his son to reach a clearing. He wishes to show something. Well, let's see what he needs to show. Now you are coming to something, son, he said as he pushed down the top wire so he could cross the fence. This is something I want you to see. Who did this? I asked. Who cleared this land and fenced it? Fenced it against what? Stray cattle if they ever get out of the pasture. He answered me curtly. I cleared this land and I fenced it. But why did you ever climb to this mountain top and do this? I asked him. Look at the fertile land we have in the valley. Fertile? He laughed as he reached down and Puck picked up a double handful of leaf rot loam. This is the land, son. This is it. I've tried all kinds of land. Then he smelled the dirt. He whiffed and whiffed the smell of this vile dirt into his nostrils. Just like fresh air, he said as he let the dirt run between his fingers. It's pleasant to touch, too, he added. But Dad, I said. I know what you think, he interrupted. Your mother thinks the same thing. She wonders why I ever climbed this mountain top to raise my potatoes, yams, and tomatoes. But Jess, he almost whispered, anything grown in new ground like this has a better flavor. Wait until my tomatoes are ripe. You will never taste sweeter tomatoes in your life. They will soon be ripe too, I said as I looked at the dozen or more rows of tomatoes on the lower side of the patch. Then, above the tomatoes were a half dozen rows of yams. Above the yams were, perhaps, 3 dozen rows of potatoes. I don't see a weed in this patch, I laughed. Won't they grow here? I won't let them, he said. Now, this is what I've been wanting you to see. This is the cleanest patch I've ever seen, I bragged. But I still don't see why you climbed the top of this mountain to clear this patch. And you did all that against your doctor's orders. Which one? He asked, laughing. Then he sat down on a big oak stump, and I sat down on a small black gum stump near him. This was the only place on the mountain where the sun could shine to the ground. And on the lower side of the clearing, there was a rim of shadow over the rows of dark, stalwart plants loaded with green tomatoes. What is the reason for your planting this patch up here? I asked. 20 times in my life, he said. A doctor has told me to go home and be with my family as long as I could. Told me not to work, not to do anything, but to live and enjoy the few days I had left with me. If the doctors have been right, he said, winking at me, I have cheated death many times. Now I've reached the years the good book allows to man in his lifetime upon this earth. 70 years and 10. He got up from the stump and wiped the raindrops of sweat from his red, wrinkled face with his big blue bandana. There is certainly a reason that the old man has brought Jess all the way up to the clearing. Let us find out what is the lesson that he wishes to teach his son.